Okay, welcome to part 3 of the Westinghouse radio restoration. We're coming along nicely with the capacitor replacement. As you can see, still got a few more to do, but would like to show you something. This is a 10 microfarad 25 volt electrolytic capacitor. That's the original cap to the radio from 1936. This little booger here is a 10 microfarad 50 volt capacitor from 2012. Notice how much smaller components have gotten over the past 70 some odd years. You could just about put a half a dozen of these newer capacitors inside of this old capacitor. Okay, all the capacitors have been replaced. And you can see mounted a terminal strip right here to mount the electrolytic capacitor so it would be isolated from the original capacitor that was in the radio. And I've cleaned the volume control, or lubricated it, because some of these old controls they get stiff and hard to turn. So what I did, I just used a very small drop of 3-in-1 oil, put it right here and let it soak down in there, and it's freed up now. I did the same thing with the band switch. Would also be a good idea to spray the contacts on the band switch with this contact cleaner here. So I'll do that right now. Let's see how well I can do this one-handed. And work it back and forth a few times to let the cleaner work its magic. And then do the same thing with the volume control. Although these older volume controls don't have as good of an opening on them to get the cleaner down in there as the newer ones do, but I think we can still get some down in here. Okay, just let that sit and let the cleaner soak down in there. And everything's turning nice and smooth now. Okay, we're about ready to run the smoke test. I have the radio plugged into my Heathkit variable output isolation transformer. I'm going to start us out at 60 volts on the 1 amp scale. So let's turn it on and see what happens. I like to start these out at a low voltage in case anything does go wrong. I can spot it before any major damage is caused. And there we are on 60 volts. We'll let it stay there a minute or two. Go ahead and turn this fluorescent light off. It's a major cause of interference. And I'm hearing some static from the radio. Well, the audio amp section is working already. Up to 120 volts. Turn this saw on. Okay, I'm getting some action. Not exactly what I want. I appear to be picking up the same station all across the dial.
My pundits are you. Mike Gallagher gets you thinking.
I've been listening to you for a while, and this is one of the main reasons you cover stories that nobody else does.
So, or mine.
Not a bad sign.
Show comes to you. All Studios, Barbasol for a close shave, America. And now, here's
tax increase in the history of the world.
What we have been told by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and 4 liberals on the court.
Okay, I'm picking up the 2 stations in the middle, on the middle of the band, nothing on the high end. Well, there's something, but obviously it's not listenable.
Even when they don't ask for it, the Supreme
victory because the Supreme Court upheld.
So this just goes to show that replacing all of the capacitors in a radio it's necessary, but it's not a guarantee that the radio is going to be back to 100% operating condition after the capacitor replacement. As you can hear, more troubleshooting is going to be required to get this radio back up to spec.
Been doing backdoor
But overall, I'm pleased with where we are so far, because in a lot of cases you'll recap a radio and won't even get these results. So anytime I can get a station to come through, that's a good sign.
I think she's got it.
Okay,
going on, but
this is going to conclude this part of the video, and I will be back soon with. I will be back very soon with part 4 of this series. Okay, thanks for watching, and more to come later. Okay, I'm back for a minute. This is just too weird. AM 1010 is coming in. No matter what position the dial is tuned to. I don't know if you can hear it coming in, but it's...
That is a fair way to make sure that if you hit my car...
I'm tuning across the dial.
Stephanopoulos then said, well, it may be fair. It may
for commercial firms that want to invest in...
There's 910.
That's called tax increase.
I don't think I'm making it up. Merriam-Webster.
There's 1010 that's coming in all over the dial.
Imposed by authority on persons or property.
I'm turning the dial towards the high end.
Looked up Merriam's dictionary. The definition of tax increase indicates
here when you need it most. Meridian Community College offers...
There's 1390.
what you're saying.
I wanted to check for myself, and your critics say it is a tax increase. My critics...
And we're all the way to the high end of the dial, and 1010 can be heard all over the dial, so that's that's most weird.
We can have a legitimate...
Okay, thanks for watching, and part 4 coming up soon.